Let's talk a little bit about the history of sustainable thinking. This is already a very old subject. Maybe one of the first pioneers on sustainability is Buckminster Fuller. In 1968, he wrote a book, Spaceship Earth. And this metaphor, that's a smart one. Think about it. You're in a spaceship with a certain amount of resources. When you know they're limited, you'll be more careful for it. Of course, it's not just you in a spaceship, but your spaceship members. In this case, the whole human population. Together, we are responsible to make use of our resources available on our spaceship, our little blue ball in space. Actually, in the same year, Garrett Hardin wrote a scientific paper on the tragedy of the commons, addressing the same issue. A lot of more things happened in between, but one of the recent highlights is Al Gore with a movie on the Inconvenient Truth, which opened the eyes, or at least informed an audience globally on the inconvenient truth on our greenhouse gases and the way we're using our resources on this planet. A little bit earlier, actually, William MacDonald wrote a book on Cradle to Cradle, a philosophy on how to use things more sustainable. We're taking things from nature and we're putting back in the cradle, rather from cradle to the grave. And a bit more recently, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation published their theories on circular economy, which is maybe the only way to sustain our planet by reusing everything and keeping everything in balance. Of course, circular economy is the opposite thing from a linear economy, how we're using the planet currently, that we take, make, and dump on the planet. There's a lot of science been testing on how we're using our planet. Of course, the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, is the biggest scientific authority to peer review each other on what impact do we have on this planet. The amount of greenhouse gases, climate change, and related effects with sea level rise, pollution, depletion of resources, etc. And also, because of this, there are summits where world leaders come together to discuss together how to use our planet. Quite recently, a lot in the news is the Paris Climate Agreement, where the top nations on this planet agreed on reducing our production of greenhouse gases and reduce the amount of resources we're taking from nature